What's up, everyone? I'm the Kaiju no Kami from the Toku and Animation News Network, and today I'm taking a look at Shouju Sentai Live Man.
Hey, Kaiju,
What?
you're not reviewing Live Man.
What do you mean I'm not reviewing Live Man?
No.
But isn't this the series that starts off with a lion, bird, and dolphin?
Yeah, but...
And they gain 2 more members as the series progresses?
Yeah, it has that too.
And there's also a villain who grades the other villains?
And that.
So, how is this not Live Man?
But it's not Live Man.
No, seriously, I'm reviewing Live Man, right?
You already reviewed Live Man.
Oh, I guess I did review Live Man a while ago.
Yeah,
So why am I reviewing Live Man again?
you're reviewing Hurricaneger.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
But there's 2 individual mechs that combine into a bigger mech?
Hurricaneger.
That's not Live Man?
No.
That's Hurricaneger.
Yep.
Oh. Okay.
Have a good day.
My bad. I guess I'm reviewing Hurricaneger, not Live Man. Remember to click like, subscribe, the bell notification, and whatever else YouTube has you clicking on to support us.
Ninpuu Sentai Hurricaneger!
What's up, everyone? I'm the Kaiju no Kami from the Toku and Animation News Network, and today I'm taking a look at the 2002 Super Sentai series Ninpuu Sentai Hurricaneger, which Shout Studios had put out on DVD. After the mech fest that was Gaoranger, Toei decided to return to a more martial arts-esque show by bringing in another ninja-themed series. Originally, Hurricaneger was planned to be titled Dainin Sentai Ninjaman, but for some reason Toei decided against that name. My guess is that they feared it would have brought in some confusion due to one of the characters from the first Ninja Sentai series, Kakuranger, whose name was Ninjaman. The series itself would try some new ideas, such as featuring 2 separate Ranger teams that would face off against each other for the first quarter of the show before they began to work together, something that was unheard of at the time. In addition to this, Hurricaneger was the first show to start using the "ger" at the end of a word as opposed to Ranger, something that would become excessive in more recent times with the likes of Gaoranger, 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 Shinkinger, Ninninger, Juoger, and so on. It's gotten so bad that you would think Toei would just be randomly pulling names out of a hat and adding "ger" to them. Enough about that though. It's time to spin into Hurricaneger's heroes. The heroes. Our heroes are a trio of ninjas from the Hayate Training School that focuses on earth, wind, and fire. Sorry, that's a band. The Hurricanegers focus on earth, water, and air. They are Yosuke Shina,
Hurricane Red!
Kotobito,
Hurricane Yellow!
and Nanami Nono,
Hurricane Blue!
who are played by Shun Shioya, Kohei Yamamoto, and Nao Nagasawa. This trio are a lazy bunch who would rather goof off than take their training seriously, which ends up saving their lives in the long run.
表には現れん裏の歴史を歩いてきたのじゃ。
During a ceremony, a group of space ninjas attack the school, killing nearly everyone except our tiresome triad as they skip out on the event to relax.
Suck!
This in turn means they are the only ones qualified to take up the mantle as the Earth's secret ninja defenders, the Hurricanegers. Oh, and by Earth, what I really mean is Japan. Of the 3, I'd say my favorite is Nanami, as she is the only one I really don't find to be that annoying. She's got some pretty awesome moments, such as this one where one of the villains pissed her off.
涙は人に見せる前怒りの力にすればいい
And then another here when she is frustrated at her food not being eaten by one of their commanders.
Hi. 嘘
We come to learn that she did poorly in school even before she joined Hayate, and she dreamed of being a pop star. Something that came true, also by accident, due to the gang being told they need to get day jobs to disguise themselves in the crowd when no monsters are attacking.
See, you don't need to work hard for your dreams. All you really need is an alien invasion to come down and hand it to you on a silver platter.
In this instance, a talent scout instantly recruits her to be a stand-in singer for another idol.
Though I'm not exactly sure how they could mistake Nanami for this lady, as they look completely different. Maybe the Japanese can't tell themselves apart the same way white people can't?
Kota is the extremely responsible one, which makes sense as we quickly come to learn that he has a younger sister he had to take care of after their parents died.
Because you know, Japan and dead parents are synonymous.
アフリカに行こうと思うの。
アフリカ？
難民の子とかいっぱいいるでしょ。そのお世話がしたいの。ボランティア。
でもお前もっと慎重にもっとよく考えてたな。
始まった。
As such, he will often overthink a situation even when a quick decision needs to be made. It is also revealed at one point that his grandmother had a shrewd sense of humor.
ほら見てごらんお尻
She also temporarily comes back to life as a schoolgirl and starts bossing him around while telling him he looks like his grandpa at that age.
That's a tad creepy upon thinking about it.
There's also an episode where Kota is deemed to be the leader of the Hurricanegers, though it is only for a little bit as he ends up being quite incompetent when it comes to leadership skills.
陽介お前自分がリーダーって言ったのか？
コウタ、今はそんなこと言ってる場合じゃないでしょ。
よしみんな俺の指示に従え
The final Hurricaneger is Yosuke, who seems to set the trend for what would become the loudmouth Reds.
必ず奥義を習得してみせるぜうわ
He's not bad compared to what would succeed him, yet he's not exactly tame either.
この貸せ陽介やめろ
He is the only one who initially takes his job seriously and will jump headstrong into battle regardless of the consequences, especially if a friend is in need.
ハリケーンレッド参上ハリケンジャーは3人だと聞いていたが貴様なんか俺一人で十分だ
During the second half of the show, he runs into a former classmate of his that dropped out, who ends up being amazed to learn that he is now a Hurricaneger, as they were both viewed to be the bottom of the barrel of their class. Assisting the Hurricanegers is their sensei Mugensei Hinata and his daughter Oboro. Mugensei, played by Toku veteran Ken Nishida, also the Japanese voice of Goda in Ghost in the Shell's second gig, transforms himself into a hamster when the school is first attacked in order to escape their onslaught. Regrettably, he forgot the spell that would change him back to a human, so for the entirety of the series he is stuck in the form of a talking hamster. Oboro is the scientific genius that crafted together the Rangers' gear and mecha. The father-daughter relationship is an interesting concept for mentors, though this subject matter is only touched upon once during the show, as it's kind of hard to really relate given most of the time we see Mugensei as nothing more than a puppet.
たまや
Still, I would have liked to have seen more development between the duo. We also never find out where her mother is,
Though I'm sure we can already guess.
There are some robots that are meant to go around to erase people's memories whenever a battle occurs, which is kind of an interesting idea, except there's one major flaw with it. Wouldn't people start to wonder why there are suddenly so many buildings smashed up and streets cracked with giant-ass potholes in them? Does no one notice this, or do these robots also repair the entire city as they're wiping out everyone's memories so no one notices it?
It's a question I really want answered.
The secondary ranger team I mentioned earlier, from the Thunder School known as Ikazuchi, are a duo of brothers called the Gaorangers. Their names are Iko and Ishu Kasumi. And they too are the last ones left of their clan. Yujiro Shirakawa and Noboru Kyo portray this delinquent duo who were trained by their father to be ruthless and cunning.
泣いても敵は倒せんぞ。
やめろ
When When they first appear, they merely watch the Hurricanegers in action before facing off against them, joining up with the evil space ninjas. In time, like all Ranger rivalries, they come to their senses and work together as a team. It adds a really nice dynamic as the show is in its second quarter before they join up, which makes for a thrilling first half. Iko ends up acting as a rival to Yosuke, as we see in one instance when they are both working at the same shipping dock and start competing for who can carry more materials in a shorter amount of time.
Aww, they're having a dick measuring contest. How cute!
What I find funny about this aspect is Ishu is the more immature one like Yosuke, yet most of his development tends to revolve around either the decisions his brother makes or a hinted love interest with Nanami.
しばらくはお前にとってもな。
I love everything revolving around this duo thanks to their more serious nature. In fact, they are the reason I don't have too much of an issue with the silly personalities of the Hurricanegers, as they complement the team quite well. It feels like the Hurricanegers are a modern day Sentai team, while the Gaorangers represent a more old school team. Between the two teams, they have what you would expect a ninja team to have weapon-wise. Swords, guns, motorcycles, a megaphone.
Wait, megaphone? Cool?
Their weapons can combine to form a cannon to finish off the bad guys.
Victory Gazette! Charge!
Oh, and they have the most badass weapon of all, a shamisen.
Red Sonic!
Yeah, shamizens are cool.
I also love the costume designs, especially the netted arms and legs, not to mention the different shades of red and blue used.
Poor Kota, he's the only Yellow Ranger in this show.
Finally, given Hurricaneger is a 2000 Sentai show, it must feature a 6th Ranger, and that 6th Ranger is a mysterious ninja identified simply as Hurricaneger.
Midori no Kodan Tenku Ninja Shurikenger
Hurricaneger is an interesting character as we are never sure of his true identity as he takes on the disguises of various people across the country, all whom are played by previous Rangers. It's an intriguing idea as we get to see some of our favorites such as the recently deceased Tatsuya Nomi,
Tenku Shinobi Change Shurikenger Sanjo
Kenji Oba, Yuji Kishi, Shuhei Izumi, among others. Harkening back to Kakuranger and Ninjaman, Hurricaneger has a secondary ranger form he utilizes when he gets angry, as his microphone sword also becomes a baseball bat. It's cool, though in the long run, it's nothing more than a stupid gimmick. I do like him, yet I feel like he often overstayed his welcome. While the 6th Ranger was always there to help get the main team out of a dire situation, those situations were used sparingly in order to make the appearance of the 6th Ranger feel special. With Hurricaneger, however, he shows up in every episode after his appearance because the Rangers are always needing his help. In fact, I feel like there is a moment where even he is sick of always having to rescue the Rangers.
これじゃあ忍者学校からやり直しミーが一から教えてやるぜ伝説の勇者か聞いて呆れるな What an asshole!
It just feels like overkill because you know the moment he appears, everything will be fine.
It takes away any sort of suspense.
The villains.
The villains, a group of space ninjas known as the Jakanja, come to Earth in search of Pennywise.
必ずやあれを我が手我らのあれを手にするためにももっ とこの星を腐らせねばならぬ。
あれを手に入れるためには我らの情報が欲しいと、そう言ったな。仮にあれが手に入ったとして、我らとジャカンジャどちらのものになるのかな。
Or maybe they're just looking for tech support.
Hello, IT? Have you tried turning it off and on again?
Either way, that is pretty much their sole purpose this entire show. They have no other goal in mind, and none of the generals do anything different to achieve this goal. Oh sure, the monsters of the week vary between organic creatures and robots, and there are some cool ones such as the Thunder Drum monster, this tiny vampire critter,
何これちっちゃい
バンパイアンですや
宇宙一小さいチュチューン族の中人
Who has the best growing scene ever?
a cicada that needs to beat the Rangers before its lifespan runs out,
ツンツンああ落第っていうか寿命で死んじゃうなんて作戦立てた中枢棒が罰だよね
a clown who makes bad puns,
ドカンがドカー
and these wolves. Ultimately, though, their entire purpose is to rot the earth. All we hear during this entire show is rot the earth, rot the earth, rot the earth, over and over again.
It's repetitive and redundant.
It doesn't help that Jakanja's leader, Talzant, is practically a statue that talks. He has no character development, no backstory, nothing in the entire show. He can make some of the villains from Gaoranger sound sophisticated. Fortunately, his generals, the Seven Spears, all have a variety of distinct personalities to make them interesting to watch. Like with their boss, there's not much as far as character development or backstory is concerned, but I'll take what I can get. I do like they are all named after the days of the week. The first spear, Furubijo, or Friday, was a school dropout who grades each of the spears based on their performance.
ああやられちゃった何が最強よもう
The second spear, Chuzabo, is most notable for being voiced by Gori Daisuke.
貴様らがセンティピードに行く術はこれでなくなった。我らを裏切った貴様らを許すわけにはいかん。
Monday's Mamuraba makes up the third spear, who starts the series off as a little round floating bug thing, evolves into a fully grown warrior who then kicks off a vendetta against the Gaorangers for betraying them. He is also a prophet and wields a cool-ass motorcycle. The fourth spear is a woman named Wendanu.
美人のお姉さんのあなたがもしかしてひょっとして手裏剣者に続く仲間の忍者だったりして
私がベンリーヌでしょベンリーヌ
This pink-haired femme fatale is responsible for making monsters grow via a giant robot that takes on the form of the monster.
私の可愛いコピージャイアントは破壊された磁石雲の能力を全て写してる。さらにパワーアップして再生することができるのよ。
And either a scroll or a mask that makes them grow.
私ベンリーヌのバズーカに呪文を込めて打ち出せば一度倒れたものの全てを写してる。巨大化、最大のパワーを発揮することができるのよ。私が投げた鉄仮面はやられた中人の細胞を集めて仮面に合った大きさに巨大化させちゃうらしい。
Her highlight comes in one episode where she opens up a school to brainwash people, but ends up falling in love with the manager at a supermarket she pretended to work at.
かわいい。あなたお名前は？
橋本と言いますけど。
橋本くん？ね、橋本くん、あなたこの塾で働かない？
It is also in this episode that we learn she can grow big when she gets angry.
Something that will never be touched on again.
Sargane is the 5th spear, who is a tiny little insect creature that pilots a giant shogun-like mech body.
The only good bug is a dead bug.
He's all for an honorable battle and is the one who invents all of Jakanja's gadgets and mecha. From here, we have our latecomers, the weekend duo of Sadarakura and Sandaru. They are both my favorite of the 7 spears as they are complete opposites to each other and stand out from the original 5. Sadarakura is a silly character that likes to goof around, make bad jokes, frustrate for a Bijou,
20点減点
and boast how each of his monsters of the week are his strongest warriors.
やっぱ大ボラじゃん最強の住人呼んだなんて
全く調子がいいんだから
He may not have much in the way of character development, yet he is so damn fun that I like watching his antics. It also helps that Master Bin Shimada voices him. You may know Shimada as Broly in Dragon Ball, Soroko in Zeta Gundam, Kamakiri in Naruto, Wappo in One Piece, Stick Bernard in Mospeada, Zack in the Dead or Alive video game series, and many, many more.
あそこに出てきたのは仁義論ってやつの蜃気楼騙されたねいちいち笑うなだって笑えるでしょ
As for Sandaru, like I said, he is the exact opposite to Sadarakura in that he is super serious. Of course, you could easily tell this the moment he speaks, as he is voiced by Shuichi Ikeda, most commonly identified as Char Aznavour in Gundam. Shit hits the fan when Sandaru shows up as this no-nonsense warrior takes a bite out of our heroes with giant monsters that are stored in his fans. He is also solely interested in results regardless of how he acquires them, which causes a rift with Sargane, who is all about honor. He's quite cunning and manipulative, which makes the others swoon at his awesomeness.
はーい私サンダル様の彼女に立候補しますバキマーあんた男でしょ何言ってんのよ男と男の間にも愛が
Lastly, like every Sentai show, there are the grunts. These humanoid creatures that are just giant dolls full of bugs are known as Megarapas.
That's all I've got for these guys. They don't do anything noteworthy. However, I do have to give credit to Toei for creating their own full-blown Jakanja language.
The Mecha.
Unlike Gaoranger, Hurricaneger does not go overboard with its mecha.
There's pretty much only 3 main mechs in the show, with a companion mech, and then the show's gimmick, a bunch of weapon creatures stored in gadget balls.
Shut up and take my money.
The Hurricaneger's mech are combined of a hawk, dolphin, and lion that combine to form Senpujin. I quite enjoy the design of Senpujin as he isn't batshit crazy and still looks cool. However, the most stimulating aspect of Senpujin is its Hurrier mode that allows the mech to slim down into a fast-running machine. I just love watching the actor glide across the screen attacking the monster of the week in this mode, as it makes the mech fights exciting to watch. Despairingly, despite the suit's agility, Toei still decide to cram the fights with unrealistic attacks done in CGI, which makes no sense.
Just use what you have with this mode.
There was no need to have some spinning knife attack from a slide in the sky.
That is stupid.
Anyway, the second mech, which belongs to the Gaorangers, are Kabuto and Quagabeetles.
The two! Who would be calling me in the middle of my review? Yeah? What's up? Yeah? Uh-huh. Yeah. Really? Okay. I'll let them know. Hey, Gaorangers. The B fighters called and said they want their mechs back.
The two combine to form Gaoranger. After the team joins forces, Oboro gives them each a gadget that allows the mechs to merge together to form Gorai Senpujin.
Which I do think is a pretty awesome looking mech.
Next up is a helicopter that turns into a humanoid machine piloted by Hurricaneger. I like its slick design and agility, though because it flies, once again, the battles with this machine are usually riddled in CGI. Meh. It can also combine with the other mechs in multiple ways. On Senpujin, it replaces the dolphin to form an arm. For Gaoranger, it attaches to the shoulders, becoming cannons. Towards the end of the series, another trio of gadgets are created to combine all three mechs together, forming Tenrai Senpujin. The final mech, controlled by the Shimizen I mentioned earlier, is a giant mammoth known as Revolver Mammoth.
One, two, three!
The Rangers can merge with it to form another ultimate form, which is cool, though I hate that it's supposed to be a revolver, meaning it should only be able to fire 6 shots, yet like 40 gadget balls are dispensed from it at one time.
Thus defying the whole point of it being a revolver.
The effects and music.
Being that we have entered the 2000s, Toei started using a lot of CGI effects, many of which don't hold up so well today.
That's not to say they are downright awful. However, they look out of place more often than not, especially the lightning effects. And then when you have things like what is supposed to be glass falling from the sky. They just look so cartoonish compared to what they had done in the past. It's nice that they can attempt new things, such as sky fights with them, I guess. I think the worst part are the scenes where they replaced having actual sparks flaring off the suits in battle and adding digital ones later. There is no need for CGI and something that can be achieved practically. There's not much the camera work either. I can't recall a single fight scene that stood out to me from a cinematic standpoint. Of course, they do have those screen shadow attacks, which are cool. Though inferior to having a really kick-ass sunset battle or top-notch fight choreography with a gliding camera. I do like the different colored lights and smoke used when the Rangers would do their roll call, especially the umbrella one. Other than that, I don't have much to speak on in the effects part. Just way too much CGI use, and it is only going to get worse from here. The music, on the other hand, continues to be top-notch. Kazunori Miyake knew exactly how to enhance a scene, even when there seemed to be little energy involved by the actors on screen.
そんなのって絶対ないよな。だから俺たちのチームワークで地球のために戦う仲間の素晴らしさってやつを証明してやろうぜ。大丈夫ですか？
It also helps make the fights not feel as redundant as they often are. I also love the bits of the shimizen that were used.
強さの中にも優しさを、魂の調べだ。心を激しく奏でろ。投げきそうだ。
Hurricaneger Sanjo, which is the title of the opening theme, is sung by Takatori Hideaki, and it is a really enjoyable, energetic piece. It amps up the adventure you are about to embark on as it really sets you up for the show, whether the episode is able to keep up with that energy or not. As for the ending theme, Kageyama Hironobu's Serenade can only go so far with such a slow-moving melody.
I've heard worse closing, so it's about average in my book.
The episodes.
Unfortunately, there's nothing that really wowed me as far as episodes are concerned.
I don't hate every episode I watched. In fact, I didn't really hate most of what I viewed. It's just that the show doesn't really do anything truly mind-blowing once you get past the Hurricaneger Gaoranger opposition. It plays everything too damn safe. Regardless, my favorite episode is the Taiko Drum and Lightning. In this episode, Sargane sends down a monster that can control lightning through his drums to burn the world to ashes.
技を盗まれ、このまま引き下がるゴーライジャーか否か、思い知らせてやるのだジャカンジャに。
This leads the Gaorangers to have a competition against the monster to see whose lightning abilities are actually stronger. It's just a really cool episode thanks to its music. And it helps that it features Go-Go 5's Ryoichiro Nishioka as a taiko drummer Hurricaneger takes the form of.
Good night, boy.
Okay.
You know what? Everything may play out the way you would expect it to in this episode, but it was still the one I enjoyed the most. So, whatever.
As for my least favorite episode, it is easily the one where Furura Bijou rage quits Jakanja and is paired up with Nanami to become a new pop band.
フラビージョ待って違うの私もジャカンジャやめたの面白いですあよかった最高です
Idols and Friendship is the name of this episode, and boy, does it stink.
For some reason, Nanami instantly trusts Furura Bijou because she gives her a sob story about being a loser in school, which Nanami relates to.
宇宙忍者学校の落ちこぼれだったの
落ちこぼれ中の落ちこぼれだなまったく
They make a song together. Apparently become a smash sensation overnight with that song.
Since that is how popularity works in these kind of shows.
And then she gets all heartbroken when Furura Bijou betrays her.
Then again, they did sleep together, so maybe more did happen. Well, there was also this comment at one point, so it's possible.
Either way, it's a friggin' stupid-ass episode with a stupid-ass plot and a stupid-ass conclusion.
But hey, as I said earlier, at least we get a really badass Nanami moment out of it.
The movies.
Hurricaneger has had a theatrical film, a versus movie, and a few anniversary ones. The theatrical film features the team having to protect an alien ninja princess from a bunch of alien ninja monkeys. Everything about that sentence sounds cool, so why the hell is this movie not cool? Yeah, this movie is not that great. We are told this princess is supposed to be depressed because everyone on our planet wants her because of her blood, because it can give people immortality, so we are told we are supposed to feel sorry for her due to this. However, we are never showed anything to make us want to feel bad for her. As far as I'm concerned, she's just a selfish, spoiled brat.
誰にも相談できない。大きな重荷来る。And アストラム第4惑星という。And 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 第4惑星という。
I also don't care for how the Jakanja are iced the entire movie by these monkeys.
姫はもらった。玉食いの儀も我らが代わりにやってやる。
It makes them seem like a threat, despite us once again not being shown anything to feel like they are anything beyond just monsters of the week. This movie is also where they first introduced Tenrai Senpujin, which will be the start of movie Mecha carrying over into the TV portion of these series. As for Hurricaneger vs. Gaoranger, it's not that bad actually. The spears strip the Gaorangers of their powers to use for themselves thanks to the help of Seisei Yabaiba and Chuzubo's brother, Chubazu, leading the Hurricanegers to believe they have turned to the dark side.
聞いてるこっちが赤面だぜ。
昔のこととか全然覚えてないの。頭の中は真っ白け。
まだまだくちばしが黄色いひよっこだぜ。じゃあ青にさいって言い換えるよ。お前たちに言われたがないが、自分たちの心はどす黒く染まっている。
Even the power animals fall for this trick.
ガーキング、騙されないで。私が本物のタイガさよ。
Which kind of makes the power animals dumb, as that would not have been possible in the series. This causes a battle between the two teams until the Gaorangers reacquire their powers thanks to Hurricaneger and Gao Silver, who is still moping about.
Hey you! みんなとお別れはしないのかい？
奴らの顔を見ると分かりにくくなる。
We get to see the same stock footage of Gao Lion getting knocked down.
I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down.
Oh, and a new mech combination. I do love the scene when Oboro retorts with this.
お父ちゃんそないに驚かいでも。私はそないなると思っとったで。スペシャルやしな。
The 10th anniversary movie that was released in 2013 is hard to talk about as it requires massive series spoilers to discuss, so I'm going to avoid most of it. It's okay, kind of weird, and I do mean weird with scenes like this. And the villain looks like he stepped out of the Horde Empire from He-Man and She-Ra. Now, the recent 20th anniversary film is easier to talk about because while it does take place after the series, nothing in the film will truly spoil the show. It's not even actually set in the present day, rather 200 years prior. Two new villains appear in the past trying to collect a quartet of jewels to destroy the world. I swear, ever since Avengers, everybody's hunting down Infinity Gems. Kakuranger did it for a quest in their show. Now the Hurricanegers. Can we get something new to destroy the world with? I don't know, maybe sparkling pop can tabs. That sounds threatening. Moving on, the Hurricanegers travel back in time to assist their ancestors, but they need to stay transformed for most of their visit.
みんな タイムスリップするときにはスーツを着とかんと死んでしまうから、いつ強制送還になっても耐えられるように今のうちに変身しとき。
That's a clever way of not having to splice your actors together for an extended period of time. Bravo. I like the bit when Orlando recaps the show and borders attached to the sides of the screen.
一介の遊女に過ぎなかったワッチを救い出してくださったのがサウザンド様じゃ。ワッチらは深く愛し合っていたんで、一人ぼっちに先に行かせたこの辛さ、一体誰に分かろう。
There's some pretty cool visuals to be had.
これはよくもワッチの願いをぶち壊してくれたな。
The new villains are quite a threat, with one of them played by an actual human actress.
浮世絵以上の美しさでござったぞ、オイランダ。
そうだリンショー、せっかくこの時代に来たのじゃ。憧れのオイラン道中やらない手はありません。
A typical game of keep away.
ありじゃ。孝太郎。
And a new form for Yosuke's forefather.
大江戸ハリケーンレッド誕生。
This also sadly marks Taiki Masano's final appearance before passing away, who was the voice of Hurricaneger in the series.
風と雷一つとなりて天下御免の大勝利。ついに颯流とイカズチ流が手を取り合って大きな仕事を成し遂げたぞ。
It's not a bad movie, though it is slow moving and was tough to follow initially. The DVD. Shout Studios DVD is what you'd expect. We've got the front, the spine, the back, DVDs and trays. We've got episode titles here, and then production shots here.
There are no mistimed subs, though sometimes I get confused with the inconsistencies in translations. For example, the team is called Ninpuu Sentai, so Shout kept it as such. Yet, they translate Ninpuu Gatai as Ninja Fusion instead of just having it Ninpuu Fusion. Then they will just outright translate Ninpuu into whatever the attack name translates to. It also happens again later on in the show with the name or title Gozen. Sometimes it will be translated as Your Majesty, while other times it is just kept Gozen. In fact, it happens in the span of a minute in one episode.
御前か。
一緒に御前様に会いに行こう。
御前に止められているんだろ。
御前様、
これが御前。
御前様は全てご存知で。
ですが、御前様、お言葉を返すようで恐縮です。
It's very vexing.
Of course, if the worst thing about a subtitle track is me having to nitpick about its use of translations, then that is a pretty damn good subtitle track to me. The video and audio are what you would expect from a 2002 Sentai series shot on videotape, though I have no Region 2 discs to compare this release to. I will say I did find some oddity with the lightning effects, but upon watching the movies, it seems like that was standard fare for Hurricaneger and not actually from Shout Factory's compression on the discs.
Overall, Hurricaneger is a mixed bag of a series. There is nothing downright dreadful about it, but nothing brilliant either. As such, I am going to give Ninpuu Sentai Hurricaneger an average 3 out of 5 grown-ups in spandex. I did like the villains despite lacking in the development department. The highlight of the show is without a doubt the rivalry between the Hurricanegers and Gaorangers. That alone makes this worth watching at least once. Until next time, bye!
$20 減点